Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
Facts. Boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, World's Finest Wednesday.
Welcome into another World's Finest Wednesday edition here of Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the always morphine one.
Always
Mr.
morphing.
Mike. Morphine from one thing into another. You are constantly changing.
So not morphine.
Not
Morphine.
morphine, like a Power Ranger.
Hope y'all enjoyed that sound.
I don't even
Throw
know.
in my
They
bottle,
probably
actually.
didn't even hear it. To be
Oh,
honest.
yeah, that's true. You're right. Never apologize. Don't mention things that they probably don't hear. I get it.
Exactly. Now we have to explain. Mike threw a water bottle clear across the
I did.
office, and we heard it, but you didn't.
I
hear
did.
it,
I'm so
probably.
sorry.
So, this is Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach. He's Mike, and this is a World's Finest Wednesday edition, meaning we're focusing more so on a Silver Age, always silly.
Silver Age silliness.
Yeah. Sometimes we will dip out of there and we'll go into the Gold Age or the Bronze Age or I don't know.
Who defines those?
Wherever we want to take it. I mean, we've talked about it. There's our ages. I don't know who
Yeah, I
defined them
understand,
to
but it's
begin
like
with.
it's like saying
The comic industry to begin with?
well,
The
no, it's like
printers?
saying Gen Z and Gen Y and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know who
None of
makes
that.
them.
It's just.
I just
silly.
kind of know like the age or the year groups that it falls
I guess it
into.
does give you kind of a grouping, though. You can go,
Yeah.
okay, it's about there or about there.
But we tend to stay to that. But sometimes we're going to do something a little different here in a couple weeks. I didn't want to spend like 4 whole weeks talking about All-Star Superman.
4 whole weeks.
Even though technically we are still going to, we're just going to take over 2 Wednesdays. So
Okay.
instead of doing World's Finest Wednesdays that week, it'll be All-Star Superman. We'll just carry it out, I think.
The thing I
Or-
like the most about that plan
Yeah.
is I think you've told me before, but it could be that you're telling me for the first time, and I am learning as the audience is learning that is the plan.
Yes. Yes.
Even if you did tell me
you this
before, even
Fair
if you did tell me before, my mind works somewhat like a goldfish. So the next time I turn around, whatever's behind me is going to be a big surprise to me.
Yeah. No, hey, I get that. And I actually count on that sometimes because
Should.
with Black Condor, I expect you not to. You've completely forgot Father
I forgot
Pierre,
most
I'm
of
sure.
it. Yeah.
But what we are going to dive into
Dude, jumping
today,
off a cliff. I remember that.
there
though.
you go. And
just,
trying
"Oops,
to
I can fly.
Yeah. What we are going to do today is kind of continue the
that
theme
Seal?
we started for Monday. For like Kiss from a Rose.
I
Seal?
believe I can fly. Who's
No,
saying-
that R. Kelly.
R. Kelly. That's right. The guy who pees on people. Isn't that who that is?
Amongst other deplorable things, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that like if it's we're not diving into that. That's adult conversations. What we are going to talk about today.
It's adult
I
conversations.
don't know. I didn't know where
love
to
that.
go with that.
I love that. That's great. Yeah.
It's like a game of hot potato. And I
Sorry,
was
Grandma.
like, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. It's got pee on it.
That's what I'm saying. It's all gross.
No.
Not here to yuck your yum, but if you like that, then you're weird.
What? No.
Oh,
Mike, you
sorry.
can't do that.
Oh, that's not an official statement of Bros, Foes, and Heroes.
We don't. Wow. We are very inclusive.
We live in a world, Zach, where what did I tell you about before we started this recording? Our president now has his own phone service that he'll sell you for $47.45. Why is that significant? Because he's the 47th and the 45th president, right? It is an all gold phone that says "Make America
Are we
Rock
sure
Again."
this is for sure?
It is a real deal. It's been
Okay.
reported by several media outlets. It's just like him trying to sell the NFTs or his golden sneakers. Remember those? Remember the solid gold Nikes he was trying to sell?
Well, no. Remember, Nike did make solid gold shoes at one point. In time.
yeah,
They
but
had,
he
like,
made
wings on
some.
them, but
yeah,
that was
so you could
separate.
stomp around America again or whatever.
Why does it have to be gold? Like
Curb stomp around America again.
So
Yeah, all right, let's go.
okay, what we're gonna do here?
Scott Drew is very disappointed. Look at him.
Before why is he hanging out with Howard Stern? That's probably why.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
So, and because Mike's tickling him.
Taking him right in his cheek.
So,
He's a big baby
before
boy.
we go completely off rails, which we are
Too bad.
for sure heading to.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is continue kind of what we did on Monday in a way with a little bit more of a Superman movie primer.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about a character today, Mike, that I don't know if you know about.
The Rock. Oh, Metamorpho.
Metamorpho. Who
Sure.
You've seen appear a little bit in The trailers,
Yeah,
right?
I have.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
making sure.
He's the dude in the box.
He's the dude in the box.
I'm the dude in the box.
Oh, that is the better one to go with. I went Lonely Island. You went.
Oh yeah, you
Alice
went.
in Chains.
Oh yeah, you went Wiener in a square.
Wiener in a square.
Wiener wins the square. That's right.
It was the oddest game of Hollywood Squares I ever
It was
watched.
the one. It was
But-
Hollywood Squares After Dark.
But Paul Lynn was still there.
Paul
so-
Lynn was saying, "I love it when the wiener wins a square."
You know, that is the only. Okay, I'm gonna admit.
There's like
something,
7 people out there that will understand that was his actual voice.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I will admit that one of the only reasons I enjoy American Dad is because Roger sounds like.
Oh yeah,
Paul
he's
Lynn.
he's just Paul Lynn.
Yeah, that's what makes me think of.
I loved Paul Lynn though. I thought he was funny.
Oh, me too. But
You remember him on Bewitched? He was on
Yeah,
Bewitched.
no, for sure. That's
Yeah.
what I remember him for is Bewitched and Hollywood Squares. That's
Well, the all-time greatest game show that was ever made was the Match Game.
Oh, you're right. He was on there too.
And
What was
so-
the host name though?
Gene Rayburn.
Yes.
Yeah, tiny long ass microphone.
Yep. Boom. And the music that would play, I got up. While they wait, and they're just sitting there writing down. I always wanted to be on the match. I wanted to be on a lot of games.
Oh yeah, remember they tried to reboot the Match Game with somebody else.
Didn't
and
watch
was
it. They
terrible.
tried to bring back supermarket sweeps. Don't do that to me. I love Leslie Jones, but I'm not going to watch it.
She is not a host of Supermarket Sweeps. She should be the host of something way more comedic.
Yes.
You know, even if it's just Pictionary
Like
or whatever,
showcase her
right?
chops more than
Yeah,
supermarket
yeah.
sweep.
Supermarket Sweep, you just stand there and go, "Did you get the ham?" And that's pretty much it.
No,
you know?
there's more to it.
That's
You
it.
have to give clues.
That was in that guy's eulogy when he died.
He's still alive.
Oh, it's
Is
in
it?
his forthcoming eulogy.
Dude, I've told you this before.
Did you get the ham?
But I so love watching Supermarket Sweep. Like, I'll just.
Did you? Okay. How big of a problem do you have with guys' grocery games then?
I really enjoy.
Okay. All right.
Guy's Grocery Guys.
He's so French.
Guys' Grocery Games are. It's not Johnny Gilbert. Johnny Gilbert's who created it, and the fact that I know that is just dumb. It's because at the end they say it's a Johnny Gilbert production.
Who was Mark?
Between that and when the next one starts.
Who was the guy that hosted the Let's Get Slimed On game?
Mark
Summers. I tell you what,
Dan Rupert
I tell you
is
this:
still alive.
if you thank God, we've got maybe we get a reboot of Supermarket Sweep. Mark Summers, though, has you ever looked into like his background and stuff?
He currently lives in Northern California.
Oh, what's his address?
It just says he has a wife and no kids.
Oh, okay.
He was in an episode of the Rockford Files. Okay, never mind.
Ooh, Rockford
And
Files, good show.
He hasn't been in anything since an episode of Star Trek Prodigy as archive audio.
They just played him on Supermarket Sweep. That's what we're shooting out to the stars.
Oh, he was in Ultraman X, the movie, as the narrator.
Okay.
And he was on an episode of True Blood?
Okay. Bet he got it.
I'm going to look him up. Okay, what were you saying?
I'm going to eat you, supermarket boy.
We are going so far off the rails with this.
Because they were all Cajun, right? Oh, bring that boy over here. He got some right blood.
Were you saying
Now kiss me.
something? Whoever turned in for Metamorpho is so upset right
The
now.
guy, the Mark Summers.
Oh, word, he did. And all white. Look, hold on.
Oh, man, look at him in his white suit.
Yeah, I can't do the.
Wow.
It's a terrible picture to do screen share, but you should look that
He
up.
looks like he's looking for money for his new plane so he can
Okay.
get closer to Jesus or something in that picture.
All right, so what were you?
Metamorpho.
Metamorpho.
Much like this episode.
I love
It's made up of
Supermarket
a lot
Sweep.
of different parts.
If you have Pluto or Tubi or whatever the free
No,
one
I was
is,
just gonna say Mark
they have
Summers-
a channel that he's not agoraphobic. He doesn't like messy stuff.
Agoraphobic.
Is that agoraphobic?
No.
No.
It's not at all. No, agoraphobic's
no.
where you hide behind the door because you don't want to get out of the house.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can trust that or not. But you know the thing where you don't like messes? Like he had that and he'd have butcher paper on his wall so the kids couldn't like believe like it was to the around his house.
Really?
Yeah, and they let him host Double Dare.
Ooh. Mark Summers, though, if you think about Mark
Oh, I
Summers.
say that could be like an urban legend that wasn't true. This was
No,
before
it
the
absolutely
internet.
happened and still happens to this
I'm gonna
day.
look at this now. Keep
Mark
going.
Summers You talk about a guy who produced a lot of TV, hosted a lot of TV, produced a lot of TV. He is behind a lot of those Nickelodeon shows, a lot of game shows, a lot of themes, all kinds of stuff. He is like the game show king.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, he does have OCD.
Wait, he's got the same thing that Howie Mandel has, where he's like a germaphobe kind of thing, right?
Yeah, but I think it's related to his. I think this is related to his OCD. Maybe
Howie Mandel puts one of those big plastic gloves over his face before his wife kisses
Yeah,
him.
the double dare irony. Many people find it ironic that he's known for its messy nature, given his.
Yeah. Okay. Metamorpho.
Yeah, never. You don't want me to give you
I'm
Mark
good.
Summers.
I've got all the Mark Summers information I need. Thank you.
He was on an episode of Workaholics. Did you know that?
Workaholics, really?
Yeah. Like
That's really weird.
Episode 3 or 2. All right. So now that you're
He just happened to be walking by
now
as they
that
were filming
we're
it.
not going to get anybody to watch this.
Oh no! Come on, come for the Metamorpho, stay for the Mark Summers is what I say.
That's always something.
Once a
so
week.
let's go through this pretty quickly as I give you a rundown of who Metamorpho is.
Do you like that?
Mike, what are you trying over there, Mike?
I'm trying a Pib Zero.
Not a sponsor yet.
Now here's the thing: where'd Mister go?
Does it not say Mister on
It
it?
just says Pib Zero.
Because
There's no Mister.
Because we believe that in today's world we don't need gender norms. That Pib is for everybody.
Okay, here we go. I've never had one of these. You gave me one of these earlier today.
I gave it to you today.
You traded.
I traded because
For some beads and some land.
I had never had one before either, but I used to drink Mr. Pibb a lot as a kid.
All right, hang on.
And I was like, hey, I picked these up the other day. Would you care trading one of your...
Oh yeah, I don't care for that at all.
Oh, really?
No, that's not good. You know what the problem is? It's Dr. Pepper. It tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper is far too complex for my palate. It's too many things going on.
I didn't know that. See,
Yeah.
but here's the thing.
I'm a simple man,
In
Zach.
Pibb's defense, I know... Hey,
In Pib's defense,
if you're waiting for...
Your Honor, in this humble case of Pib versus
If you're waiting for Metamorpho, hold on. We got to just right after this, Mr. Pibb.
Pib
talk.
versus the United States of America.
I love your Southern lawyer voice.
Yeah,
But no,
Well, I
Pibb,
want to pop my suspenders while
Yeah.
I'm talking too.
Pibb will just call itself a spiced cherry soda.
Is that what it says? Spice cherry? Oh my God! I never would have put that in my hole.
Oh, here, just give it to me. then
No.
if you don't want it.
I've already put my lips all over it now.
Well, then maybe I never. So, Metamorpho. Okay, he first appeared in issue number 57 of Brave and the Bold.
The Brave and the Bold, Metamorpho, the Elephant Man.
No, the Elemental Man.
Oh, sorry, Element Man.
Yeah. So now this is January 1965. This is when we debut here.
Okay.
Our writer of the story is Bob Haney. Penciler will be Ramona Fraden.
It was 1960 what?
1965.
And it was a woman penciler, you said? Mm-hmm. That's excellent.
That is. And then Charles Paris was your inker. Editor was George Cashton.
Ah, screw
So, but let's go ahead and dive into our origin of Metamorpho the Element Man. And he starts off
Sapphire!
as a regular man named Rex Mason.
Rex Mason.
Okay. You see Sapphire there on the car. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny because that's also the woman's name. Her name is Sapphire Stagg. But what we get through some narrations.
Oh, I know that name.
You know Sapphire
The only reason I
Stagg?
know that name is because of the previews for Superman. Yeah.
Is Stagg in there?
Uh-huh.
Then I'm about to tell you. I didn't realize
No,
that.
you tell me, and then I'll tell you what I know. Because I know very little.
Okay, well, no, I'm just going to tell you about, because the Stags are very prominent in the origin of Metamorpho.
Okay.
So what we're introduced to at a great city airport, chaos kind of like creates as Rex Mason is supposed to come back. He's been off on another adventure. As you see reporters who are gathered there, they're talking and they say,
What does he do?
he's a soldier of fortune, essentially.
And a crowd shows up for a soldier of fortune returning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But he goes off on all these wild, crazy adventures and comes back with these great stories.
Okay.
They talk about, here comes, Rex Mason, soldier of fortune, back from South Africa with the secrets of the Indian witch doctors who shrink the human body.
Indian witch doctors.
And the other guy says, yeah, another mission completed for old Simon Stagg, alias Mr. Millions. What a life that guy leads.
Mr. Million.
So essentially, Simon Stagg, who we
So he's
come
a
to find
playboy.
out well, Simon Stagg is Rex is. Yeah, Rex is a playboy who goes on adventures.
Okay.
Think like Indiana Jones, except he doesn't have to teach class.
Well, Indiana Jones, but he's got like a PR.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing too. Did you ever play? You're not much of a video game guy. Uncharted.
Not anymore, but I do remember Uncharted.
Think like Nathan Drake. I feel
terrible,
like Nathan
terrible
Drake,
movie, but yeah.
It's okay movie. But think like Nathan Drake is probably like the same kind of thing.
Got it.
And he's been going on a lot of missions for this Mr. Millions or Simon Stagg, who's just
what about the
money
guy from National Treasure? Is he like him?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Have you seen the previews for that one with Jim on Apple?
I haven't watched the trailer. Like I've seen like the
it's
ad
like
for it. I haven't watched a Natalie Portman.
Superwater or whatever it's called.
I mean, it looked intriguing. I haven't watched.
It looks rough.
I haven't watched the trailer.
It looks rough.
Anyway, so he's been going on
Jim,
these
what
missions.
are you doing?
He doesn't have an office working. Rex has been going on these missions mainly for Mr. Millions, Simon Stagg, who's just the money guy. But we also find out that Simon Stagg is incredibly smart.
So Simon Stagg is bankrolling these trips to go do whatever with Indian witch doctors
to go
or
find all this stuff. Like he's essentially sending. He's like, hey, Rex, I'll pay you this money to go find this for me and bring it back.
Isn't what's his face like that? Also, the guy from Wonder Woman,
Steve Trevor,
Pedro Pascal played.
Maxwell Lord?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
He was Maxwell Lord.
He was.
Oh, shoot.
Now, remember, we've covered Maxwell Lord a little bit.
Yeah.
In the comic book version with Booster Gold.
Yeah.
Because he gets
Ted
Cord killed. Because he can manipulate kind of through will. It leads to a big event that some people like, some people didn't in comics, where Wonder Woman ends up killing Maxwell Lord on, like, live TV. Like, she snaps his neck.
Very rarely can you say, I played a better version of something that Pedro Pascal played.
Yes, but I don't think it's going to be Pascal's fault. I think it's the way they did the character.
Oh, I agree with that because Cheetah. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, they try to squeeze a lot.
That's awful. Yeah.
I think that's probably Warner Brothers more than anything.
Oh, sure it was. I think it's Zack Snyder's fault, but that's just me. So,
Rex Mason, as everybody looks and waits for the plane, this little tiny guy starts walking off and like, oh no, they must have shrunken Rex. Like he must have gotten too close. Well, about that time, Sapphire Stagg, she's not there by the airport. So
there's a little baby guy?
There's a little baby guy walking out. Huh. She's not near the airport. She's following another plane, and she waits as he hops out, and Rex actually lands in the car with her. Because he has a thing, like, Sapphire's his gal. Rex and Sapphire are an item.
Sapphire looks like one of the sea monkeys, like from the advertisement.
A little bit. She does,
like a sea monkey.
Without little things.
Yeah.
But he tells her like how he missed her and he's glad to be back. And when they get there to interview Rex, they realize it's a toy.
Oh, my gosh. How could we all be fooled?
We've been made a fool of. And, like, that's the thing. Oh, Simon Stagg is back. Old Mr. Millions, brilliant scientist and tycoon who loves only power, has already heard about the incident of, like, you know, the toy and him, you know, kind of being just made a fool of him coming back. And he has an assistant who's like for lack of a better term, he's like an unfrozen caveman.
Okay.
Honestly, named Java.
That's the guy. The big guy that was on the cover.
The big guy next to him.
Got it.
Java.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He looks smart.
So he goes, I warned you, master. I warned you. Mason's not to be trusted. Look. And Simon looks in as he's turning his TV to something. He goes, you're always warning me, Java. Giving you higher intelligence has made you think you know more than I. Like Simon's just kind of angry about it. And as they get the picture in, he's watching in the camera that he has in his daughter's car of his daughter kissing her boyfriend.
Yeah, he's a big old snoop.
And her dad goes, the secret video camera in my daughter Sapphire's car. It's getting a very clear picture today. And Java says, and I'm reading this verbatim, Mike, look, it's Mason making love to her. Oh, I can't stand to watch. I don't think that's the right
What is that tiny mushroom?
So they're just, and he's like, shh, shut up. And they just sit there and they watch the camera for a bit. It's really weird. Anyway, there's a couple weird things like that.
That is weird.
I don't know why they use that for it. Anyway, maybe
watching my daughter make out with somebody while a caveman stands next to me.
Yeah. It's just an average Tuesday for Simon Stagg. Anyway, he tells Java's just like, how can he love her? Like, I don't get that. I'm stronger than he is. Like, he's very much obsessed with her.
I can't do that.
Yeah. Well,
Oh boy.
just give it to
I
me.
said spice cherry, man. I just
Here, just
ever
give
since
it
you
to
said that, I can't. Hang on. The little movie magic here. I'm going to hand it to the wrong side of the screen, and then he's going to have it.
Oh, hold on. What if I do this though? Thank you. They don't know that. I
Ooh,
had to
baby.
pass it. I'll.
Yeah,
that
that is.
You don't like it at all. Is it 'cause you
No,
don't like
I
Dr.
can't.
Pepper?
Well, I don't like cherry. Number one,
That's.
I did not realize Mr. Pibb was cherry.
Have we not? Yeah. Well, Dr. Pepper is mainly.
Oh, maybe that's why I don't like Dr. Pepper.
Okay. Can we talk about something real quick?
7 herbs and spices.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
So we used to get cherry pies on the snack floor here.
on the 16th floor.
The Mrs. Baird's ones.
Yeah.
That were so good.
There's no cherry ones there.
Remember? No, there's not. It's only been apple. Who likes apple? They're apple pies.
Yeah, I always liked apple.
Okay.
You thought it was my fault?
No, hold on. I remember that we sent an email once asking them to bring cherries. I didn't read the email. I
Oh.
think that maybe you just, applauded them for switching to apple now that I think about
Congratulations on your wise choice,
Choice
is
to
what I
apple,
said.
yeah.
No, I do remember asking the guy, and he was like, "Oh no."
it. Yeah,
okay, and that was
that's
it.
about all we
yeah.
had. Anyway, so, man, this is going to be off rails episode, but it'll be fun. So,
Did you say
Simon,
Maxwell Smart?
Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Smart is
Get smart.
Get Smart. Yeah.
Isn't that Don Adams?
Don Adams, yeah.
So we got told recently.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you know what we should do, Mike? Well, I'll save it to the end, but
Okay.
I also have a game for us. But we got told recently. I will tell you this. You remember the terrible?
We're like Don Adams?
Remember those terrible gags, the vaudeville cards that I had of where it was like none of them made sense.
Oh, yeah,
to,
none of them made
confuse
it.
your
Yeah,
friends?
yeah.
Somebody explained it to us. In a
My
comment we
bicycle's
got.
made out of paper. Womp womp.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything.
Somebody sent us a comment over the weekend, and I was like, "Oh, I'll tell Mike." They are based on a gag Don Adams would do on the show Get Smart, is what it says.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's a very good comment. Thank you.
So there you go. So
I
back
miss
to
Don
us.
Adams.
Yeah, I do too. All right, so let's get back on track, and we're going to speed through this.
I
So-
love Michael Scott, but he was not Get Smart.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I used to watch the original was
so
on
good.
TV Land. Oh yeah.
So good.
So Stag goes and kidnaps.
Mel Brooks, that's why.
The TV show? Or
Yeah.
the movie?
Yeah, no, the TV show.
Oh.
Yeah, he was one of the main people.
So Simon Stagg decided not to be made a fool of. He's going to deal with Mason once and for all. He sends his men to go get Rex and his
What was he
daughter.
made a fool of, though? The fact that he thought the doll, like everyone else in the world, thought it was that guy walking down the street?
I think this is like the last straw of
Okay.
he's becoming more and more of he just does not listen. Well,
Okay.
I say that. I forget. There is something that happens.
Okay.
So they get Mason and they bring him back, and he's like, "Hey, did you bring did you find out the secrets from the witch doctors?" And he's like, "Yeah, I found them out, but you just sent me to find them out. You didn't send me to give it to you." And he's like, "You're right, but now I'm ordering you to give it to me." And he goes, "Okay." And he throws it at the cat because he's like, "You don't have it. I'm not paying you for anything." He throws it at the cat, and it shrinks his cat down. Yeah. And then Java's like, "Let me go ahead and, beat him up." And Simon Stagg's like, "No, Java, let's face it. Rexy boy is right here. He didn't guarantee to give me the potion. All right? Touche, Mason. But I have one more job for you to do, and it's worth $1 million, successful or not.
He
I just
cannot
need it."
keep his mouth off that guy's daughter, though.
No. he can't.
Every panel, it's always like,
Which is very weird because
it
the
is
next
weird.
panel that I thought, and he goes, $1 million. And then she goes, "No, Rex, we're going to be married. You can't go off on another dangerous mission." And he goes, "Baby, baby." He goes,
baby. Ooh.
"Oh, that kind of loot I can't turn down. It means I won't have to work for your father anymore. We'll both be free of his millions and his power madness." As he's just sitting there,
As he's just standing there listening to him. Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah. Hey, you know how your
F
father,
you guys.
you know how your father's kind of a tool?
"Hey, I'm right here. I'm right here."
Oh.
So they devise. I love how they're kissing off in the corner, and you see Java's face where he's like, "Oh, I don't like it."
No, he doesn't like that. Makes him feel things in places he doesn't know he has.
But Stag sends Java and Mason off to go get the Orb of Ra over in Egypt.
Orbara.
Orb of Ra. As he's leaving, Sapphire tries to stop him and says, "No, Rex, please stay. I've got a premonition that something horrible is going to happen to you." And he's like, I promise I'll come back just $1 million richer. Nothing else to worry about. Well,
A little clap.
not from the locals, though.
No.
From a hooker.
From a very reputable hooker.
I did a lot of research on Yelp. And
She has the least amount of clap of any of them that are in my immediate area.
Oh, we were so.
She has a one-handed
off the
clap.
road.
Is that what that is?
How else would you clap one-handed?
You know what I hate?
Well,
You know what I absolutely hate?
that?
No. When somebody like sings a song or does a poem or something, then everybody's just like, I can't do that. No.
You hate snaps?
I can't. Stop. It's not 1963. You're good. Just give them some applause or say yippee.
The thing that bugs me is when they do it and they get off, and so you just start. Nobody's all the time.
Almighty. Oof.
Anyway, I don't mind the snaps. I like snaps. It makes
Really?
me feel cool. I honestly just want there to be like.
I'd rather have some
bongos
crackles or pops.
Wake up call to the world, or is that Folgers? So,
It's got to be Folgers. There's no way that cereal's waking you up, all right? I'm sorry.
gotta
Go ahead.
be
All right, so we're going after the Rav Avaman or something. What are we doing?
oh, this episode is awful. All right,
okay.
so we're going after the Orb of Ra.
Orb of Ra.
And as they get close, like the pyramid is red and it's giving off weird
Yeah.
heat and stuff. And we'll find out more about this after the break. But we'll come back. And part 2 of 3 parts here. The heat has somehow caused the plane to turn upside down. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Rex Mason is able to land the plane safely.
Oh,
so
thank
we're
God.
good. They look to try to find an entrance in, and they
He's
can't.
a man's man.
He is, but Java finds a giant rock. He's like, there's got to be an entrance. And he grabs it and he pulls it and he like hurls it out of there.
Good old Java.
As they go inside, Rex finds like these hieroglyphics and he goes, hold on, let's look at this real quick. Looks like, this must be Octon. And there's a meteor falling to Earth.
Yeah.
Ahkton, Octon.
Octon. Yep.
Octon.
Octon, baby.
Evidently old Octon.
Wasn't that a U2 album?
Octon.
Octung, baby?
No,
Isn't that a U2 album?
Is that the one that they put on all our
It might
iPhones?
be. It might be the one that was forced onto your phone.
Yeah, eventually old Octon fashioned an orb from a piece of that meteor and attached it to a scepter
Sure.
and presented it to his pharaoh. That's what Stag is after, the orb and its fantastic powers. All right, and Java's like, whatever, let's just go find it. And as they do and they get close to it, there's a fight between the two, and Java essentially just kind of slams Mason down because
Honestly,
he's stronger.
Things would probably be a lot better if they just went with the stuff that Java's bringing up. Because,
Probably.
like, do you want me to just punch him? No. Wait, let's do this. Okay, is there an entrance? I don't know. And then he picks up a brick. I mean, he's just like he is on or off, black or white. You know.
So he kind of knocks Mason out and goes to leave with the orb. His plan is to leave Rex there. Like that was their plan, was just to abandon him in this pyramid, to be done with Rex Mason once and for all. Well, what happens is, unbeknownst to Rex while he's passed out, meanwhile, Rex's fallen body. Hold on, I'm going to have to explain this so you can follow the logic. Ready? Also, it has an arrow, so I know that you like this. Meanwhile, where Rex's fallen body has activated an ancient system of pulleys and counterweights. And you just hear him muttering. He's just like, sapphire, sapphire. As it's like click, 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 raising him up. Yeah. And then it has an arrow to point me where to go next.
Yeah.
And his cunning mechanisms perfected by long dead Egyptian engineers carry his inert. Yeah.
Yeah.
From deeper into the pyramid's very heart. And he's like, trapped on some kind of conveyor platform moving towards that opening door. What's behind that? A big rock? And he gets in there, and it is. But it keeps getting hotter and hotter. And as you see, he's like starting to sweat.
Yeah.
And he thinks that he's like, I'm going to die from like the heat
He's
here.
got the old hot rocks.
Yeah. He's like, this must be the power that the pyramid was putting off, but it's so hot, it's going to kill me in here.
Yeah.
And he's like, Stag once gave me this ring, and it's filled with something that he told me to take if I'm ever close to death's door. It should help. And he does.
What?
We don't know what it is. It just says, don't know if it'll help, but here it goes. I'm passing out. Goodbye, Sapphire, baby. And then the glow like goes through and like flashes, and it turns off, and he kind of like wakes back up. He's like, so that's it now.
There is
death
no other
pills.
option but cyanide? Is that
But-
what we're saying?
I don't think it's cyanide.
Okay.
And he's like, it feels, but
But I mean, he had to think it was something akin to cyanide.
I would
correct?
think probably.
Okay.
But he wakes up and he's like, it stopped glowing and I'm still alive. The chemical of stags could have saved me, is what he says. If it did, the last laugh is on old Mr. Eyebrows, but I feel so strange and
Mr.
weird.
Eyebrows.
And he walks by a mirror
wow.
because all tombs had mirrors, obviously.
Yeah, they do. Sure.
And he's
Little
like,
known fact.
oh my goodness. And he sees what transformation
That way you
has
would know
come.
if you had monkey brains on your,
You
on
wouldn't
your
be like,
chest
oh,
or
you
something.
wipe it
you know,
off
like,
and you
yeah,
go.
yeah, let me get that off.
But he realizes the transformation that's happened and realizes that things aren't all right. And then he goes to find the rock that Java, and he's put it back and he can't get out. But then all of a sudden, by instinct, he turns into a gaseous form and he he poofs out of the gap. Yeah, of the gap between the rocks.
He
there in the
poofs out of the
pyramid.
gap.
He poofs out
He
of the
poofs
gap.
right out of the gap.
And he's like, comes back to, and he's like, wow, it's like I willed myself into a different chemical form.
Yeah.
And then he runs to their plane that's broken. Remember from when they tried to land it?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know a lot about chemistry, but I know that, magnesium is what gives plane struts their muscle. And so he uses
Is it?
his new power. That's what he says.
Okay.
So he uses his new magnesium form to to fix the plane and try to fly it back home.
Let me squirt some magnesium on this.
Squirt, squirt. Oh, it's fixed. And he flies it back home. But Java's already headed. He's a few hours ahead of him with the orb.
Uh-huh.
Well,
He don't look great with that thing in front of him, by the way.
no, he doesn't.
That looks like somebody's gonna have a bad time right there.
It does. Well, back now at Simon Stagg's great mansion.
Uh-huh.
And, Java tells Sapphire that, I'm sorry, he got lost in the desert and I just couldn't find him. And she's like, no, you left him behind. You planned this. She thinks something's up. And he's like, but Sapphire, I love you, please. And she goes back and Sapphire pleads with her dad about, we got to go find him. Help save Rex. And he's like, her dad goes, I don't know. I could send a search team, but I fear we might be too late. He might be lost out there in the desert forever. And so they're thinking, we got rid of Mason and we got what we wanted. So win-win. Suddenly, you hear, Simon Stagg, hear me. I'm coming after you. And the group is puzzled and scared at the same time. What is it? We have to continue in part 3 on the 4th page following this.
Why does Java all of a sudden look like one of the guys from Planet of the Apes?
Well, because he's he
He's an
kinda
ape
is.
man.
Yeah. So all the guards are looking
do we
for
ever get explained what the colors are about?
maybe later.
How he's got a bunch of colors all over?
Maybe probably later, not in the first
Okay.
issue though.
All right.
So he goes and he's walking around, and Simon Stagg has helpers around his mansion, like all rich people do, that have weapons and stuff, and I guess to get ready to fire guns at him or at anybody who might try to trespass. But they're looking for Rex Hudson. No, this is just some weird guy out there, some bozo looking freak. We're not going to shoot him. Buzz off. And about that time,
Also looking freak.
he dives into the water. And it starts bubbling up, and they think it's acid, and it scares them, and they run inside. And as he pulls himself out of the water, he goes, my chemical warfare gimmick, using sodium reacting in water, certainly spooked Stagg's goons. Sodium's
Sodium salt, right?
okay, and water?
It doesn't do anything.
All right, cool. Just make sure it's not me.
Okay.
He does decide to turn into gas to get in through the air vents, to get to, as you see him ghost out of it, to get
Yeah.
into Mason and Java.
Yeah.
When Sapphire sees the creature, she faints.
How do they not breathe him in?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like if he
Where's
turns
where's my finger? Oh,
Ah!
shoot! Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it appears. Yeah. Sapphire faints from the look at him. After he's like, Sapphire.
Yeah.
He gets into a fight with Java, but he's too much. He'll shift and become a gas, so Java misses, or he turns his head into marble as he punches it, so it hurts his hand.
I'm just a micro brine shrimp. How can you look at me that way?
And then he turns his hand into cobalt as he punches.
Cobalt?
Yeah, cobalt, because it's tougher than steel.
Okay.
We find out Stagg tries to shoot him, that he's basically invincible.
Well, I do like the fact that Stag's gun goes pow pow
Pow pow.
pow pow.
But we do find out that the orb makes him weak. The orb of Ra
Makes
they-
old Metamorpho weak?
Metamorpho weak.
Huh.
And he kind of faints down. He's like, so this has control over you. And he's like, Stagg, I just want to be fixed. That's the thing. You're the smartest man. Why don't you just run text on me and fix me? I don't want to stop you from anything. And he's like, you're right. Okay. So they do. They run all this tests to see that like he's
gonna try to kill him again.
He's basically invulnerable to anything while he's in this form. Like, but he talks about how
that tungsten forehead of his or whatever.
Well, he talks about how he has the power of all the elements. Like he can turn into whatever he wants.
All the
to.
elephants.
And he's like, "You're a fool." He's like, "I can't fix you." He's like, "There's nothing I can do to fix you." And he's like, "But we're still gonna try, right?" He's like, "You're a fool for wanting to change in the first place. Like, why? You can do stuff that any other man would want to."
Yeah.
And he's like, "But that's not the thing. Like, I'm not power hungry like you. Like, I just want to be back to Rex Mason." Well, about the time they get an alarm going off,
I just wanted to go into the ladies' dressing room without anybody seeing me.
I wanted to be a huge pervert.
I just wanted to be a pervert. Come on.
They get an alarm to know that the mansion's on fire, and that's because Java's woken up after his fight, and he's feel like Sapphire doesn't love me, and I embarrassed myself in front of the master by losing that fight, so I'm going to set the whole mansion on fire. So Java's running
Perfect
around,
logic.
setting the mansion on fire. But Metamorpho uses he turns into like suds or the foam to like put out the fire.
He turns into foam.
And then he goes and he's a wonder twin. And then he goes and he saves Sapphire and he tells her like, "Don't look at me. I can't bear for you knowing that it's me." And she goes, "What'd you think that I wouldn't understand? Did you think that I could ever stop loving you?" And I was like, when I read that, I thought you did kind of faint at him earlier and you were like afraid of him earlier.
So he makes himself into a slide?
Oh, made out of calcium.
That she slides down?
Yep, unconscious.
So she slides down his bone slide.
Yep.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
She slides down his bone slide. Giggity, giggity.
Okay. I mean, it's calcium.
It is, for sure. He's like, "But honey, you can't tie your life to a freak, a walking chemistry set." She's like, "Oh, Rex, don't you see? You can use these great powers you have for good until the day we find a cure."
Yeah.
So he's going to become a hero. But what about the orb? Well, that's okay. Stag's going to keep it safe and hide it in his aquarium where nobody's going to look.
Freaking Batman's going to find it there.
Robin, for sure.
Robin's going to... Right, Batman, look, orb.
Robin, shut up. Put it back.
Shut up, God.
And then Metamorpho's going to fight crime.
Okay.
And then Metamorpho was around for the 60s and into the 70s.
So here's what I understand about Stag lady. What's her name?
Her name is Sapphire.
Sapphire Stag. What I know about her is that she is ultimately his wife.
In the show?
And they have baby Joey.
So here's what I'll tell you then, too.
Yeah.
There's 3 instances in the comics, and I've read this. One of them, I don't even have, I think I might be able to do this. One of them is issue number 24 of The Outsiders. Oh, that's not it.
That's the same one we just saw.
Yeah, let me try this. There's issue number 24 of The Outsiders, right? From 1987. And what that has, I don't have all of them, but what that issue has is this panel.
That's old President Reagan in there. Look at there.
Is that it? Yep. Where he talks about, boom, he says, "I ought to be behind, all right, back in L.A. with Sapphire and the baby.
Yeah.
Something's going to have to give, and it ain't going to be my family."
There you go.
So 87's the first time we find out that he has a kid. But what I found out in reading, ahead, Mike, because I wanted to do, there is an issue of Justice League Europe. I'm pretty sure number 11. That's issue 6 from 1990. Where he fights Guy Gardner, but at the beginning of it that I read is he's sitting there and he finds out that I guess Sapphire had thought that Metamorpho was dead and she's married to Java, but he does say that he has a kid and that Simon is keeping the kid from him.
Okay, so what is being proposed is that Lex Luthor is keeping baby Joey hostage, and so they're both in those little cubicles inside the pocket dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason Metamorpho is there is because he can materialize into kryptonite.
Yep. Which makes sense then of like, oh, we might not have a lot here. Why not I have somebody who can turn into it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
also like Metamorpho, he's going to become important down the line when you start putting these groups together and stuff.
Oh yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah.
But so like baby Joey being like kidnapped and used against him and him trying to get to it is something in the comics then too.
Yeah.
So all right, just thought that I'd throw that tidbit out there.
Cool,
I think there's another mention of him having a kid in JSA number 5 maybe from 97. That's just 3 times.
Then he turned to gas and went out for cigarettes.
Yeah, and never came back. But there you go. So that is the origin story of Metamorpho. That does it for us. If you haven't watched
that all of
Mondays,
them?
What do you mean?
So we talked about Metamorpho. We talked about
Hawk Girl. We talked about
Mr.
the
Terrific.
engineer. And we talked about Mr. Terrific. And we've talked about Guy Gardner a couple weeks
That's
ago.
true. Okay, yeah.
I tried to. The
I think we're
only
ready.
thing I think that should be everybody that we know of. There are some stuff that we don't know for sure. I will tell you this, and this is just, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just telling you that could be something. If the guy that we might think is Ultraman turns out to be Bizarro, we don't have video for it like this, but we did do an episode about a couple years ago of the origin of Bizarro that you should go back and listen to if you want to prep for yourself there. Do you remember that?
I'm a big fan of Bizarro. I think Bizarro is a very good invention.
Technically, we've even covered Bizarro if he shows up. The only one that I think might show up that we haven't, and this is just me throwing things out, maybe somebody like Metallo. But
Well, I think we brought up Metallo before,
I think
right?
we've talked about him. We haven't gone into a lot.
Yeah.
But you should be set for the movie of at least like, and here's the thing, the movie's going to tell you its own version of these characters anyway. So it's not like, it could be completely different from what we have here. It's just when it pops up, you'll be like, hey, I know a little bit about him. Or I know that Zach and Mike found that very funny.
You know what? I can go into it saying I know more than my wife does about this thing.
There you go. And she'll ask you
Then she'll ask
questions,
me hard questions.
and
I'll
you'll
go,
have
wait, you're missing
answers.
something, and then I'll just
or you can text me and I'll
right
give you
past it. Yeah.
that too. All right, so there you
I'll
go.
look on the popcorn bucket that I spent $50 on, and it'll tell me.
So we have more Superman coming up, but we're going to take a week hiatus from that to focus on everybody's favorite, Aquaman, for my birthday next Monday. Actually, on Monday, my birthday,
Yeah.
Mike is going to host the show, and we're going to cover Stan Lee's Aquaman.
It's gonna be a hellscape.
And then
folks.
that Wednesday,
Telling
for
you.
World's Finest Wednesday, I got another Aquaman story for Mike, the Silver Age fun one, because it involves something that I think he's going to have comments on.
June is Fish Month.
At least
Okay,
this
wait.
week.
Don't we have comments?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
let me
let's get to
invite that
those.
in. Okay.
Let's get to those real quick.
So, I mean, if I took the
This is one
time
of
to
my
do this,
favorite parts of the show.
it is. So,
that
Mike,
just got invented.
it is. So here's what I'm going to do. To make it work, I thought that it worked better putting them all on one, so I
Yeah.
don't have it blocked out.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go in order. But I have
Gotcha.
5 different comments.
Sounds good.
And I want you to also see if you could tell me what they're about.
Okay.
too.
I'm going to
So
be
we're
bad
gonna
at
make a
that, but
game
I
out
will
of
try.
this. Let's open this up. That's not how I want it to do it, actually.
How did they? Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
I'm going to do this a different way. I'm going to do this as an overlay so we can
Okay.
actually like talk and read over it.
Okay.
I just had that idea
Yeah.
mid-thought. So here we go. Okay.
Okay. So the first one, how did they end up in that time period?
What one do you
I am
think
going to guess that it's the
refers
Batman
to?
Superman in Old England or whatever.
That would be correct. Do you remember?
Hey!
Do you remember how they got there?
They fell in a manhole. No, I don't know.
Superman wrapped Batman in his cape and flew really fast back in time before
Oh,
Christopher
sure.
Reeves ever did that.
That's the same thing.
yeah,
It's fallen
that's
in a
where they get it
manhole.
for. Yeah.
Sakamaji, with Maji being a phonetic spelling of McGee. So to punch a McGee, slang for a dummy punch, Sakamaji. Wow.
So there you go.
That's a hell of an explanation.
I thought though that you would appreciate that
I
one.
do
And-
appreciate
and
that.
obviously you know that's a reference to
Yeah.
Dial H for Hero.
yeah, it's the guy who has 5 people in him.
Well, 3
Well, didn't he
at
have?
one time. No, we only do 3 per.
He only
They
has-
only did 3 per
He
adventure.
only has 3 guys in him at one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, everybody has limits, Mike.
Sure.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus the singer. Well, I'm going to say that one's probably the one about Axl Rose. I mean, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, no, but do you remember the Billy Ray Cyrus
I do
one?
remember it, yeah, because we've talked about it a couple of times.
There's one where he's like they're out on a reservation and they think it's haunted by ghosts, but it's not, and it's really
Yeah,
dumb.
it's really just his daughter.
Yeah.
All right, then Pepsi Pussy says, Pepsi Pussy. I love that. You could have just stopped right there.
Did you see the comment though?
This show was really great aside from that fucking god-awful intro music. Okay, so let me tell you, that god-awful intro music was it was a choice that we made many, many moons ago. And
I died laughing when I read that.
it is one of those things that just sticks in your ear. And
an earworm.
it's just there, man. Yeah. I want to thank Aaron Ayers for coming up with that one. He he basically recorded all of us, and we were all shouting in a tin can or something in a while.
It's funny. I forget some of the things, like which ones I said and which one Mike said until I listen, and I'm like, oh, that is me, or like, oh, that is Mike.
You say, and other stuff.
And other stuff. All right, and then our last one that I just found really funny.
All right, and this is okay for children to read. It's specifically not intended for children, says Maya Lansky. I do not know what that one is about.
No guess at all. It was one of
our.
our.
For children to read. Is it one of the? Is it one of the seersucker things? The Woolworth deals?
It's one of our Peacemaker shorts with the snowflake.
Oh yeah, no. That's definitely not for children to read. No, they shouldn't put cocaine frogs in their nose.
No, and I just thought it was funny. So there you go.
It is funny,
but
there is nothing better than. I love this show except for that god awful music. That is the best. Pepsi Pussy, you win. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The show was really great except for that god awful music. That's right.
I thought
wonderful.
You'd get a kick out of that. When I saw that headline, I just started laughing.
Yeah.
Heroes.
That's really good,
tell
man.
You about. So there you go.
Hey, I don't care if you like the music or not. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
We really appreciate
Thank
you guys listening. Yes.
Very much.
Wonderful of you.
Can't thank you enough for just taking the time out to watch.
You have many ways to spend your time, and you spend it listening to us, and we can't appreciate it enough.
Well, we can't. We can't. Thank you. As always, you got Aquaman to look forward to next week. Make sure to also check out all the other great shows. No, it's not canon anymore. Remember? That's the thing.
Well, it is, kind of.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
It is
kind
of.
Make sure to check out all the other shows on the Rogue Media Network of stations.
Rogue Media and Network.com.
That works. Oh, man. And until next time, stay safe, everybody.
It was what? Is a punch in the face?
Sakamaji?
Sakamaji Gilligan Galikon.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.